There's a moment that happens every morning in millions of homes across the world. A quiet ritual. The clink of a spoon against ceramic. The soft hiss of a kettle. The familiar comfort of breakfast, that sacred first meal we've been told, since childhood, is the most important part of the day. And for decades, you believed it. You trusted it. You built your mornings around it. But what if that very ritual, the one you thought was protecting your health, is the hidden force quietly sabotaging your body's ability to lose weight after 50? What if the breakfast habit you've honored for years is the reason the scale won't budge? No matter how disciplined you are with your diet, no matter how many steps you take, no matter how hard you try, this isn't about willpower. This isn't about eating less or moving more. This is about something far more fundamental, something that shifts inside your body as you age, something most people never see coming. Because after 50, your metabolism doesn't just slow down, it transforms. And the rules that work for you at 30 no longer apply. Let's begin with a truth that might unsettle you. Your body, right now, is not the same body you had 20 years ago. Not in the way it moves, not in the way it feels, and certainly not in the way it processes food. At 50 and beyond, your cells begin to speak a different language. Your hormones shift. Your insulin sensitivity changes. Your mitochondria, those tiny powerhouses inside every cell, start to lose their edge. And your circadian rhythms, the ancient biological clocks that governed your energy for decades, begin to drift out of sync. And here's where breakfast enters the story. For most of your life, eating breakfast felt natural, energizing, the right thing to do. You were told it would kickstart your metabolism, fuel your brain, stabilize your blood sugar. And maybe for a while it did. But after 50, something changes. Something profound. Your body begins to crave something it didn't need before. Longer windows of rest. Not just sleep, but metabolic rest. Time away from digestion. Time away from insulin spikes. Time for your cells to clean house, repair damage, and burn through stored fat. And when you eat breakfast too early, when you fill your stomach within an hour of waking, you interrupt that process. You cut it short. You slam the door on your body's most powerful fat-burning window before it even has a chance to open. Let me take you inside your body for a moment. Picture this. You wake up. Your cortisol is naturally elevated, not from stress, but from biology. It's designed to wake you up, to mobilize energy, to prepare you for the day. Your body is already tapping into stored fat for fuel. It's in a state called lipolysis, fat breakdown. This is your metabolic morning magic. But then you eat. You pour cereal into a bowl. You toast bread. You sip orange juice. Maybe you reach for oatmeal, thinking it's the healthy choice. And within minutes, your insulin spikes. That surge of insulin, the hormone responsible for storing energy, doesn't just stop fat burning. It reverses it. It locks the doors to your fat cells. It tells your body, we don't need to burn fat right now. We have fresh fuel coming in. And just like that, the metabolic opportunity of the morning vanishes. Now, if you were 30, your body might recover quickly. Your insulin would drop. Your metabolism would adapt. But after 50, insulin doesn't clear as fast. Your cells become more resistant to its signal. That breakfast you ate at 7 in the morning, your body might still be processing it at noon. Still storing. Still holding on. This is the invisible sabotage. This is the habit that feels healthy, but quietly undermines everything you're trying to achieve. Now, I know what you might be thinking. But I've always eaten breakfast. I need it to function. I feel weak without it. And I hear you. Because that feeling is real. But here's the deeper truth. That feeling isn't hunger. It's habit. It's conditioning. It's your body locked into a pattern of expecting food at a certain time. So it panics when it doesn't get it. But your body is far more adaptable than you think. Far more intelligent. And when you give it a chance to recalibrate, when you extend the overnight fast just a few more hours, something remarkable begins to happen. Your insulin levels drop. Your human growth hormone begins to rise. Your body shifts into a state called autophagy, where damaged cells are recycled and renewed. Your brain starts running on ketones, clean, efficient fuel that sharpens focus and stabilizes mood. And your fat cells finally unlock. This is not starvation. This is not deprivation. This is your body doing what it was designed to do, using the fuel it already has stored, instead of constantly demanding more. And the longer you allow this process to unfold each morning, the more efficient your metabolism becomes, the easier weight loss becomes. Not through force, not through restriction, but through alignment. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The problem isn't just that you're eating breakfast. It's what you're eating. Because after 50, your body becomes extraordinarily sensitive to carbohydrates, especially refined ones. The toast, the cereal, the muffins, the fruit juice, even the healthy granola. These foods spike your blood sugar faster than ever before. And with that spike comes a crash. A crash that leaves you hungry again by mid-morning. Tired, foggy, reaching for another snack. Another hit of quick energy. And so the cycle continues. Insulin up, fat storage on, hunger creeping back in. You think you're eating to stay energized, but you're actually riding a blood sugar roller coaster that exhausts your metabolism and keeps your weight locked in place. This is the trap. This is the breakfast habit that sabotages weight loss after 50. Not because breakfast itself is bad, but because the timing, the composition, and the frequency no longer serve the body you have now. So what's the alternative? It's not about skipping breakfast forever. It's not about starving yourself or following some extreme diet. It's about honoring the biology of aging. It's about working with your body, not against it. It's about delaying that first meal, not out of punishment, but out of respect. Giving your body 3, 4, maybe 5 hours after waking before you eat. Allowing your metabolism to complete its morning work. Allowing your insulin to stay low. Allowing your fat cells to open and release the energy they've been holding on to. And when you do eat, choosing foods that stabilize rather than spike. Protein, healthy fats, fiber-rich vegetables. Foods that nourish without triggering the insulin surge that locks everything down again. This is the shift. This is the recalibration. And for many people over 50, it's the missing piece they never knew they needed. Because here's what happens when you make the shift. When you finally step away from the breakfast habit that no longer serves you. At first, it might feel strange, uncomfortable even. Your body will protest. It will send signals of hunger, of urgency, of need. But these signals aren't what they seem. They're not coming from true physiological hunger. They're echoes of habit, ghosts of routine. Your body is simply doing what it's been trained to do for years, expecting food at a certain time, releasing ghrelin, the hunger hormone, right on schedule. But if you can sit with that discomfort for a few days, if you can breathe through it, drink water, sip black coffee or herbal tea, and give your body a chance to recalibrate, something extraordinary begins to unfold. The hunger pangs start to fade, not because you're ignoring them, but because your body is learning to access a different fuel source. It's learning to burn fat again. It's remembering an ancient metabolic pathway that's been dormant for years, a pathway that doesn't depend on constant feeding, but thrives in the spaces between meals. And suddenly, you notice something. You're not thinking about food every hour. You're not watching the clock, waiting for your next meal. Your energy is steady. Your focus is sharp. That mid-morning crash you used to experience? Gone. That desperate need for a snack by 10 in the morning? Dissolved. This is metabolic flexibility. This is what your body is capable of when you stop forcing it to run on glucose alone and allow it to tap into fat stores. The very stores you've been trying so hard to reduce. But the benefits go deeper than weight loss. Far deeper. When you extend your overnight fast, when you push that first meal a few hours later into the day, you're not just changing when you eat. You're changing how your cells function at the most fundamental level. Let me paint you a picture of what's happening inside. Your mitochondria, those cellular powerhouses I mentioned earlier, begin to work more efficiently. They stop being lazy. They stop relying on the constant influx of glucose and start producing energy from fat, a cleaner, more stable source of fuel. This process generates fewer free radicals, less oxidative stress, and ultimately, less cellular damage. At the same time, autophagy kicks into higher gear. This is your body's internal recycling system, a sophisticated process where damaged proteins, dysfunctional organelles, and cellular debris are broken down and repurposed. Think of it as your body taking out the trash and using it to build something new, something stronger. This process doesn't happen when you're constantly digesting food. It requires rest. It requires fasting. And the longer you fast, the more thoroughly your cells can clean house. And here's the fascinating part. Autophagy doesn't just help with weight loss. It's linked to longevity, to reduced inflammation, to protection against neurodegenerative diseases, to improved immune function, to healthier skin, stronger muscles, sharper cognition. This is why delaying breakfast after 50 isn't just about fitting into smaller jeans. It's about giving your body the time and space it needs to repair itself from the inside out. Now, let's talk about insulin resistance, because this is the silent epidemic affecting millions of people over 50, and most don't even know they have it. Insulin resistance is what happens when your cells stop responding to insulin the way they used to. When you eat carbohydrates, your blood sugar rises, and your pancreas releases insulin to shuttle that sugar into your cells for energy. But after years of high-carb breakfasts, frequent snacking, and constant insulin spikes, your cells become numb to insulin signal. They stop listening. So your pancreas produces more insulin, and more, trying desperately to force that sugar into cells that are no longer cooperating. And all that excess insulin floating around in your bloodstream, it doesn't just disappear. It promotes fat storage, especially around your midsection. It increases inflammation. It disrupts your hormones. It makes losing weight nearly impossible. This is the trap so many people find themselves in after 50. They're eating what they think are healthy foods, whole grain toast, low-fat yogurt, fruit smoothies, but their insulin is through the roof. Their bodies are in constant storage mode, and no amount of calorie counting or exercise seems to make a difference. But when you delay breakfast, when you give your body a longer fasting window each day, something shifts. Your insulin levels drop. Your cells become more sensitive again. They start listening. And suddenly, the fat that's been locked away for years becomes accessible again. This is not a quick fix. This is not a miracle. This is biology. This is your body remembering how to function the way it was designed to. And then there's the question of hormones. After 50, especially for women navigating menopause or postmenopause, hormonal changes add another layer of complexity to weight loss. Estrogen declines. Progesterone drops. Cortisol becomes more reactive. Testosterone levels shift. And all of these hormonal changes affect how your body stores fat, how it responds to stress, how it regulates appetite. But here's what most people don't realize. Insulin is a master hormone. It influences all the others. When insulin is chronically elevated, it disrupts the delicate balance of every other hormone in your body. It amplifies cortisol's effects. It interferes with thyroid function. It makes it harder for your body to regulate appetite and satiety. And breakfast, especially a carb-heavy breakfast eaten too early, sets the tone for insulin levels throughout the entire day. But when you delay that first meal, when you start your day with lower insulin levels, you're not just helping your metabolism. You're supporting your entire hormonal system. You're giving your body a chance to find balance again. This is why so many people over 50 report not just weight loss, but better sleep, improved mood, clearer skin, more stable energy, and a sense of calm they haven't felt in years. It's all connected, and it all begins with how you start your day. Let me share something with you. A story that illustrates this perfectly. Imagine a woman, let's call her Margaret. She's 57. She's been trying to lose weight for the past decade. She's tried every diet. She's counted calories. She's cut fat. She's exercised 6 days a week. And yet, the scale barely moves. The weight around her midsection stays stubbornly in place. Every morning, Margaret wakes up at 6. By 6:30, she's eating breakfast. Usually oatmeal with berries and a drizzle of honey. Sometimes whole grain toast with almond butter. She thinks she's doing everything right. She's been told these are healthy choices. But what Margaret doesn't see is the insulin spike that happens every morning at 6:30. The fat storage that kicks in. The metabolic opportunity that slips away before her day even begins. Then one day, Margaret learns about delaying breakfast. She's skeptical, but she's also desperate. So she tries it. She pushes her first meal to 11 in the morning. Just water, black coffee, and patience in between. The first few days are hard. She feels hungry. She feels irritable. But she persists. And then, something changes. By day 5, the morning hunger is gone. By week 2, she notices her energy is more stable. By week 4, her clothes fit differently. The scale finally starts to move. Not dramatically. Not overnight. But consistently. Steadily. Downward. And more importantly, Margaret feels different. She feels clearer. Calmer. More in control of her body than she has in years. This is the power of timing. This is what happens when you align your eating patterns with the biology of aging.